Hi guys, so this is a review of the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox Cool Tone Eyeshadow Palette. So this palette was $34 and you get 30 shades, and I think that is a perfect price for a palette like this. So this is just going to be my review of this palette. I'm going to go ahead and show you all the swatches of these shades. I swatch every single shade. And then I have another video of a tutorial using this palette, which is the one in my eyes right now. I just created this look using this palette. So we're just gonna do some live swatches here on this arm. I'm gonna go with the shade So Fine. It's like a beautiful pink shimmer shade. I think it's so cute. It's almost like a silvery pink. And we'll just swatch it right here. That swatched beautifully. Like, it's very blinding. It's like a silvery pink. I love it. So the next shade we're gonna go in with Stranger. This is actually a shade I use in my tutorial. This is like a perfect transition shade, so I'm just gonna swatch it. You know, it's swatched pretty good. It's like a skin tone shade. I'm gonna use a different finger next time. But yeah, we'll swatch here now. So next I'm gonna go with the shade Stone Age, which is like a beautiful mauve shade. It's like, it's very soft because not blended, like it didn't strike down. The pigment kind of stayed at the top there. So I'll just do it again, but it's very soft and it's like, yeah, just a very soft shade. So I'm gonna go with the shade Gravity Hill, which was another shade I actually ended up using in my tutorial. So I'm just gonna go in with that. Once again, I mean, this one's swatched a little patchy. You see that? Like, I'm not gonna fake a good swatch. That definitely swatched patchy. And actually, I believe this one, when I was blending it out, was a little patchy at first. But then once you blend it out a little bit, it kind of fades into a nice soft blendable shade. But that shade, if I remember correctly, it did come on the eye a little patchy. So next I'm gonna go with the shade Play It Cool. Cool as in C-O-A-L. Swatch that. This is beautiful. Oh my gosh, there's like beautiful pink glitter in it, if you can see that. It's so pretty on the finger. So the glitter really swatches, but the darker matte part of the shade actually did not swatch that well. You know, do you see that? See how the glitter's there? And then I had to blend out the matte part of that. So yeah, it's very beautiful in the pan. You can see that. That's a good shot right there. The glitter swatches very well, but like I said, the matte part did not swatch that well. So next we're gonna go down the second row. This is probably my favorite row in the palette. It's like the most neutral. I feel like if you follow the rows, you know, you can create really pretty looks. So I'm gonna go with the shade Trap. Do you see that? Like the whole chunk just came off. They're very soft. Like I'm telling you, they don't swatch well, but they blend out very well. So we'll swatch that here. I mean, it's like literally the color of my skin. You're not really gonna be able to see it, but it's a beautiful transition shade, like very buttery. It's kind of why it flaked off like that, but you know, like that's an authentic swatch. Like I'm not gonna edit that out or anything. That happened. So I'm gonna go with the shade Corey Days. Corey Days, I don't know. And like I said, so buttery, that's like, you know, you see it on my finger, like the chunks. I'm just gonna blend it out. Ooh, that blended out beautifully. Like that right there is gonna be probably my favorite transition shade in this palette. But that, yes, buttery. Like I'm telling you, I think when they come on the finger like that, those chunks, it's from just being so buttery. So next, this shade is Hard Place. That looks absolutely, oh my gosh, that felt so soft. So we'll swatch that. Yes, that right there. It's kind of like a warm tone, you know? I wouldn't say that's cool tone, but that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gold. And then next we're gonna go with the shade Truffles, which is this brown with blue glitter. Do you see that? So pretty. It's almost like play cool. So I'm just gonna swatch that. Ooh, that feels nice and soft too. And you can see the glitter on my finger. Let's see. Yeah, like once again, the glitter will swatch, but that matte part of the shade is like not showing up. So there's that. I really worked that in. That was like a... Next will be that last dark shade, which is called Fickle Fate. I actually use this in my tutorial. This blended out very nice. Once again, so buttery. You can see it's like on my finger, the powder just comes right off. I think it's just because they're so buttery, they just don't swatch right, but they look amazing on the eyes. So you can see when I swatch that, all that extra shades at the top there, you know, but it's so buttery. Like, look how I just blend it out. And then on your eyes, like I'm telling you, that blends out so nice, so nice. But of course, I'm gonna do authentic swatching. I'm not gonna, you know. So yeah, those are the shades of that row. But next we're gonna go with this middle row, which is definitely a cool tone brown. A brown gray cool tone row. So the first shade is Lux. I use this in my palette or my tutorial. Like, to see all that chunks coming off, it's just so buttery. Like, that's why it swatches like that. And I'm getting a really good like amount of shadow on my finger. So this I use to highlight my brow bone. And look, it's like, see how that blends so buttery? Like, it blends nice, but when you swatch it, it's not, you know, it's not the best, but look at that, super pigmented. Next we have You Rock. It's like a gray tone. That does not swatch well at all. And yeah, that's probably a hit shade. I mean, that did not swatch very well, you know? Yeah, I don't know what's up with that shade. You Rock actually does not rock, but next we have Sediment to Be. Ooh, that's soft and beautiful. And yes, that swatched so beautifully. Do you see that? That is my... And after that, we have the shade Bold Type. Hopefully Bold Type is better than You Rock. Let's see. Ooh, it feels nice and soft. Oh yeah, looks good on the finger. And no, that does not swatch very well at all. So those two are definitely misses. Like, look at that. Not very well. And next we have Cult Classic. Let's see if that swatches well. Better? Oh yeah, this is definitely better than the other ones. Oops. You know, like, look at that. Like, that at least blends out. Like, when I rub it like that, it blends out way better than those other ones. So that completes that row. And those are the swatches. I would say that You Rock and Bold Type were misses. So next we have this beautiful, beautiful silver row. This row right here reminds me of Britney Spears' music video, Stronger. She wears this beautiful silver look. And that shadow right there just looks like that. So we're gonna swatch the shade Dreamful. It's like a beautiful white and it has some glitter in it. Once again, it's so buttery that's coming off chalky. And of course, this one actually, you know, the matte swatch, did you see that? The matte swatched actually pretty nice with this, you know? Look at that. Like, for a white and the glitter shows up, like, that's beautiful. Next is this beautiful magnetic moon shade. Oh my goodness, this feels so soft. And wow, holy cow. Oh my goodness. Look at my finger, it's like a mirror. Do you see my finger? It looks like a mirror. Like that is beautiful. Like I wish you could see and feel how buttery that shade was. And next we have Rumor Hill. I hope this one's better than, it's not actually swatching too good my finger, than the other two grays. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. That is not good. Not good. So Rumor Hill is definitely a miss. That was horrible. Horrible, horrible. Ugh. That's like not even swatching on my arm. So there's that. All right, so next I'm gonna go with the shade Caving In. That looks beautiful. It's like the perfect cross between silver and brown. So, oh, it feels kind of grimy. You know, it's not as buttery as their other shades. It's kind of grimy. Kind of see it on my finger. It's more grimy. And swatch is a little chunky. It's definitely not as buttery as the other ones. Yeah, you can see like the gray and the browns in there. But that one was not buttery like the other shimmers in this palette. It's very like grimy. And then we have the black in the shade, it's called Rock Bottom. This is not just a matte though, it also has some like really small specks of glitter. So let's see what that looks like. Ooh, this one feels this one feels so soft. Wow. Oh yeah, that is actually like, it's not like the blackest black I ever swatched, but actually like that feels, like I can feel the pigment going on my arm. And that one, like if you see my finger, it's a little shiny. There's like some specks in there. It feels very nice. And you can actually kind of see it's like a gold tint to the black. It's so pretty. Wow, I actually really like that shade. So that completes that row. Those are the swatches. That silver is just so blinding, I love it. So next we have this other brown neutral shade, right? This brown neutral row. It's very, very pretty. This is almost like your everyday cool tone row. So the first shade I'm going to swatch is I Dig It. And this one feels so buttery. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, this shade is so pretty. It looks like, it just like looks like a silver gold. Do you see that? This is like the perfect Christmas shade. It's so pretty. Feels buttery. And look at that. Like that swatched like butter. Wow. That shade might be one of my top favorites in this palette actually. So next I'm gonna go with the shade Enigma, which is like a perfect, you know, transition shade. And once again, it's so buttery. It's like, do you see that? It's like flaking off my finger. So we'll swatch that. Didn't really swatch that well, so I'm just gonna blend it out. It's just like your basic transition shade, and it's actually not even swatching on my arm. Do you see that? I would say these other neutral tones over here are way better than this one, but I mean, it's getting there. I'm sure it's different on the eye, but. So next is another beautiful shimmer. It's called Baby Doll. It's a beautiful bronze. It smells, ooh, that was like butter also. And oh yeah, beautiful. Just a little darker than the shade I Dig It. A little bit pinker and a little bit darker. So next is the shade Fascinated. I hope this is a good one. Feels, you know, buttery. Of course, it's chunking off because it's just so buttery. Let's see. Oh yeah. Nah, yeah. It's like, it's not that pigmented. I'm sure it'll be a little different on the eyes. But like you saw me there try to swatch it and it's really not swatching as well. So after that we have this shade, the shade Drama Mama. So that's like a dark shade. Ooh, yes, that actually feels really buttery. This one might be, ooh yeah. Look how nice that pigmented. Look how nice that swatched my finger. Very pigmented. So, you know, you gotta blend it out. The first swatch wasn't that great, but it's actually blending out pretty well, I think. Feels nice when I blend it out. So that's that row. I would say that Fascinated was a miss. Actually, no, I think Fascinated swatched okay. But I would say Enigma, you know, maybe it's a little different on the eyelid, but swatching wise, those were probably misses. So we have the last row here, which is this beautiful mauve, pink, purpley row. So the first shade is Mystery, which is this beautiful pink purple shimmer. This actually feels grimy. This one feels like that shade. So it's not like as buttery as the other shimmers. And we'll see how this swatches. Oh, it actually swatched really pretty. That was actually, I'm not sure if that was in the camera, but it swatched, it's very buttery, but it just feels a little grimy in the pan, but that swatched beautifully. It's like a pink with some silver glitter. Next we have the shade Ghost Town. I actually used this in my tutorial. Flaked off a little bit because it's, you know, so buttery. But let's just see how, ooh. You know what? This shade though looks totally different on the eye. Yeah, that one's not, it's not swatching very well, but it works on the eye. But that one definitely, you know, the swatching is not good at all. That's a horrible swatch. So next is actually the shade I used in my tutorial. It's called Genius. It's either Guinness Guy or Genius Guy. I want to say it's Guinness Guy, but oh my gosh, it feels buttery. It looks so pretty on the lid. It's like this beautiful, cool tone mauve. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so pretty and it looks great on the eye. Swatched, oh, it's got like, it's like a pink red, I don't even know. It's like blue pink. Do you see that? It's so pretty. I'm wearing on my eyes right now. That shade stuck out to me. I think it was really, really pretty. Next we have the shade 4 Granite. This also is like one of those mattes with the shimmers. The other ones, you know, like the mattes didn't swatch as well, but the glitters really showed up. So hopefully, besides the white, that was the only one where the matte also showed up. So we'll try here. We'll see if the matte shows up. It's kind of, you know, flaky on my finger, but it's really buttery. No, it's the glitter is showing up, but not the mattes. But it blends out okay. So there's that. It's all right. My hand hurts from holding that palette, so there's that. It's kind of, the matte's not showing up, but the glitter is. The matte isn't showing up, but the glitter is. So, last we have the shade Obsidian. And we'll see how that looks. Ooh, that feels nice and buttery. And you gotta blend it out. And maybe it's different on the eyes, but the shade's not swatching that great, you know? It's just not, it's okay. I mean, it took a while, but still. I would say that these two shimmers in this row are probably the best ones. The rest, I'm not that, they probably show up way different on the eye, but swatching wise, the shimmers were the best ones in this palette, in that row. So overall, I bought this palette because I really don't use that many cool tones, and I figured this would be like perfect to add to my collection so I can just have more options and cool tones and just expand my eyeshadow color selection. There's a lot of neutrals in here, like things that you can wear every day. So a lot of my friends always ask for cool tone makeup looks. The pictures they show me are more cool tone. That's just what they like. So I figured this would be perfect to have so I can do those looks on them. And so bottom line is I think this palette is perfect. I think it's great and fantastic, and I think cool tones are just as good as warm tones. And I really think they hit it on the nail here. Some of them, of course, swatch different on your arm than they do on the eye. But like the shimmers are super buttery, super pigmented. I love the color selection here. I love how if you go down the rows, you can just stick with this row and create like a really pretty look. Yeah, I just really like this palette. I think it's great. I can't wait to upload and make so many more tutorials with this palette. I absolutely love the Bare Necessities palette. I take this everywhere with me when I travel, and I have like, I'll link the playlist here, but I have multiple tutorials using this palette. And I feel like these two together, like, you could make so many beautiful looks with this palette. Like, this is like a bridal's dream, like, you know? I just feel like with these two palettes, you have so many looks you can create. I think Colourpop does an amazing job keeping quality and also like keeping prices low, because this is 30 eyeshadows for $34. Like, that's such a good, you know, like it's worth it. So yeah, I feel like with these two palettes, like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I just feel like I love them. Like, I love them. I'm so happy Colourpop created two neutral, huge palettes like this. I know people don't like the idea of a big palette, but like, I don't know, you get such good quality eyeshadows. You get so many color selections and you can create so many looks, and I love the big palettes. Like, I live for the big palettes. Like, the small palettes, of course, are just as good, but like, I just love that I'm getting, you know, 60 eyeshadows here for like, what, $70? Like, when you put tax and everything into it. But highly recommend the Stone Cold Fox palette.